Class is over.
Rectilinear, yes.
How do
right.
you have to get all these to the
Yes.
right size before you start? In this direction?
Okay, so what Kathleen started with was about this big, about this wide,
The pieces?
the pieces.
Yeah, they were this wide about.
Okay,
Those
and
weren't
about
trimmed
this
down.
long. And she sliced up a bunch of veneer.
Yeah,
So she had these pieces, and they were here last week,
right,
and we couldn't figure out how to do this last week.
right.
And the problem is when you have something like that, and it's all in the big pieces, it's hard to separate out little stuff. So what we did in the Thursday's class, last week, was he took, and she said, I like this pattern. So that pattern went in the middle, we cut off the ends. This is an end of one of these guys, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
And then she had another plank that was this stuff, it had these splotches in there. And we cut she said, I like this pattern right here, and look, it kind of goes with this pattern right here. So we cut it smaller just to be able to look and see things.
Just put it on the table saw.
Yep, just cut it off. Arbitrarily cut it off.
Yeah,
And then we saw another piece that she liked this pattern here, so we saved that for these corners. And what you do is, if you try to do it out of big pieces,
Yeah.
you're screwed. You can't do it. You need to come in and look at a plank like this and say, you know what? This is really interesting right here, this little spot. I'm gonna cut this thing right here. This is interesting right here. I'm gonna cut up this piece. I like this right here. This is really cool. That might make an interesting book match. So, and then you have smaller pieces where you can start doing this parquetry stuff. So it takes a little bit of doing. When we look at Jeff's over here, it's a slightly different situation, but similar effect. So let's just glue this thing up really quick. You wanna glue it up, or you just wanna shoot it?
Do the whole thing.
Okay, so I'm looking at the grain on this thing, and I can't decide which direction to plane it, so I don't care. So I'm gonna plane it one direction, see what it does. Ooh, it likes that. Okay. So this one's up. This one went like this, right? So I just planed this one, and this one was planed with the side down. So this one gets planed with the side up. Why am I not stopping? Because where I'm standing, I can see that down at this end, there's a little bitty catch in its get along. So I'm getting past that little catch. Okay, so now I have those two. See that little catch right there? There's a
Yep.
little hole right there. Now I'm going to slide. Can you see that, Charles, right there? Okay. So I'm going to slide this thing down and
I
look.
still see it. So that means it's in this side?
Well, I'll slide this one up. The catch goes away. It's in this one right here. So this one is playing this direction. So what I have to do is come here and stop. Stop. And all the way through. One more time. That puppy's still there. So there's a big, see it right there, Charles? If you catch it just right. There's a piece that's blown out right here. So it goes down about halfway. I'm gonna have to take this one down further. Because I take this one down further, I'm gonna take the other one down just a little bit as well. Trying to get past that. That's close enough, because when you flatten this thing out, that's gonna go away.
Okay.
So now I want to take a little bit off of this side because I don't want to unbalance the pattern too much. you wanna glue this thing up as well?
Sure.
Ooh, look at that, all that work I did, and then I went and put a whack in there, okay. So I'm gonna go in the center. What you can't see me doing is I'm pushing this way. You remember this technique in the planing class where you come in and you push inward harder and you can hollow it out that way? And now we're going to check this guy again. And to hollow this one here. So again, I'm just taking the center. And then full length. Okay, this is ready to glue up. Do you want to glue it up?
Let's